Hi guys, how's it going, and welcome to another morning coffee here in Budapest. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that I've learned from experience that you should definitely not do while planning, going, or even while you're on a working holiday visa. Number 1 is do not stay in the same place. I've seen it so many times while I've been on my working holiday visa in Australia and New Zealand, and you meet people that have just stayed in the same place for their whole entire working holiday visa. Please do not do this. If you're struggling for work in a city, leave and try a different city. You know, I find a lot of people will sort of struggle on and struggle on and struggle on, and then they end up with no money. They end up working in the hostel, and they just never ever leave, and they never see any of the country that they've gone to. They just like survive in one place, and you don't want to be doing that. Honestly, I made some really good moves while I was in Australia. I was really struggling for work when I was in Sydney. I headed up the coast towards Cairns, ended up finding a job and stuff like that, found work in Brisbane. So there are jobs around, you just have to go to them and you just have to move around. Number 2, if you find a job and it's not the best job in the world, but it's like sort of getting you by, you're on kind of minimum wage, maybe you're a waiter or a waitress or a barmaid or a barman, or you're doing some sort of like job like that, and you know you're earning enough to sort of pay your rent in the hostel, you're earning enough to have a few beers every now and again and some food, then I've seen it a lot of the time where people will just sort of get that job and then think, oh well, there's nothing better out there, I'll just stick with this job and just like sort of plow through and just keep at it. So do not do this. Like, once you find a job, carry on looking for other jobs and go to interviews. Like, obviously don't tell your employer that you're doing this, but half the time, you know, these employers are employing you as a backpacker with the knowledge that, you know, you're gonna leave one day, you're gonna be like shifting off like very suddenly. So the businesses kind of plan for this. Some businesses are, you know, do want to keep you on if you're a very good worker and stuff like that, and I've seen that they bump your wage up. You know, if you are a hard worker, you might find that you start a job on minimum wage, and if you sort of say, oh look, you know, I'm gonna have to leave to find sort of, you know, higher paid work, then they might bump your salary up. You never know. So like, don't get exploited either. You know, a lot of people will exploit you because they know you need the work, they know you're backpackers, they know that they've sort of got you in like a little sort of like loop where, you know, you need to pay your hostel bills and, you know, you want to have a good time and a party, and they can get away with paying you basically hardly anything. So what I'm trying to say is, if you get a minimum wage job on your working holiday visa, carry on looking and find better work. Number 3 is you're gonna have to learn how to look after your own money. You're gonna have to be very conscious of what you are spending, and you're gonna have to be very conscious of how much money you have. Do not, I've seen this so many times, do not go out every night and party till the sun goes down and run yourself out of money. You wouldn't believe how many times I've seen this. People are just like in the hostel, faces on them like death, and they've just literally spent every last penny of their funds partying, and they don't even have a job, and they're just like in the hostel like, I've got to pay rent today. I've got to pay rent. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it's like, you know, people will help you out in that situation and stuff, but you shouldn't be getting yourself into that situation. You really need to manage your funds yourself and manage them well. If you're that type of person that is very, very sort of bad with money, then I suggest taking some money out, putting it somewhere safe, like in another bank account, or, you know, having it separate from your main funds that you cannot spend it, because the money is your lifeline. So don't spend it all. Number 4 is it's expensive to travel. And it's definitely expensive in places where I can do a work and holiday visa. For example, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Japan, Canada, you know, they're all expensive countries. And you're going to need a lot of funds to start with. Now, the threshold, I think, is around, $3,000 or $2,500. I'll put it on the screen here. I can't remember. It changes, you know, sometimes. Now, that's a lot of money, but I would honestly suggest doubling that amount of money and going with that, because if you get stuck in a rut and you are trying to find a job for a little bit too longer than you think, you are really easily going to be able to run out of that fund. It's not enough. It's honestly not enough. So go with the mindset that you're going to struggle to find a job, and then you'll have enough funds to sort of find a job, if that makes sense. Also, what people tend to do is they'll have a really nice fund of money behind them, and they'll stop off somewhere along the way to their visa holiday destination. For example, a lot of people that go to Australia stop off in Asia along the way and sort of, you know, have a couple of months in Asia. They get all the partying out of their system and just have an amazing time. And I really, really do recommend doing this, because it really does set you up for Australia. Like, once you get to Australia or New Zealand, it's so expensive that, you know, you don't really want to go out and party every night, because it's, you know, it's pricey for a beer, it's pricey for a drink. Whereas in Thailand, you know, you can get a huge bucket of alcohol, literally a bucket of alcohol, for like £3. So yeah, I mean, it's a really good idea to do your partying before, but then again, you do have quite a shock at the prices once you go from Asia to Australia. But saying that, if you are planning on doing that and partying before you go, then don't spend all of your money in Thailand or in Asia before you get there. I've seen that a couple of times as well. I've met people on the road who are sort of like in Asia, traveling around, doing the backpack thing. They love Asia so much that they sort of get like caught up in it, and they want to keep going and keep traveling, but their funds are like running out. And they're thinking, well, you know, we'll just go to Australia once we've done this. We've got all the visa holiday paperwork already sorted. We've got the flights booked for later on. We'll just go there and then we'll just find a job and we'll just make the money back. It'll be all right. But if you get there, like I was saying before, and you can't find a job, you're completely screwed. So if you are partying first, just keep an eye on your funds. Again, it's pretty much, this is all about money, this video. It's like, do not spend all of your money. Simple. Go with enough money. That's the key, really. Number 5 is the second year visa. Now, a lot of people that I've met backpacking that want to do a second year visa, they all seem to leave it till the last minute. Like, right till the last minute. Like a week before, you know, they need to get the work done, the farm work done or anything. They've left it like really, really late. And I've only met a couple of people really who have done it at the very start and get it out of the way. Now, I think that is the best thing to do, because the Australian working holiday visa is quite good. If it's still the same, I hope it's still the same, because they keep changing stuff. But when I was there, you know, you do a year and then you can leave, and if you've done your farm work, you can come back and do a second year. But if you've done a year and you didn't do your farm work, then you're not eligible for the second year. So, you know, I know you get there and you're sort of like really excited about Australia. The last thing you want to do is go do farm work or do any other type of work to get that second year visa. So I understand why people leave it to the last minute. But if you can arrange it, if you can plan it well, then I definitely suggest doing it beforehand, just so you've done it then, and then you can just relax and have a great time after that. And then if you want to come back, you can. If you don't, then you've had a great experience on a farm. My cattle station work, I don't know if you've ever seen any of my cattle station videos, I talk about it, and it was one of my best jobs I've ever had. It was so different, it was amazing. It was very isolated, it was very crazy, but it was an amazing time of my life. I really did enjoy it. So plan your farm work if that is an option. If there's something else, then plan that. But yeah, just, I think, look after your money, you know, be sensible, don't do anything too stupid, and you'll have an amazing time wherever you go. So good luck to you on your travels. If you are planning to do a working holiday visa, or you're sort of, you know, struggling to, I don't know, you know, make sense of it all, or, you know, you don't know how much money it takes, then leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you, and, you know, we can even email each other if you want, if you have many questions. So yeah, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a big thumbs up, hit subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.